Hi there. Today is Saturday, July 10th, and this is the week 27 Return to Creativity update with your hostess, Jennifer Vanderbeek of scrapsoflife.com. So, in addition to being a Return to Creativity update, this is also the update of how my first week as a self-employed writer and artist went. So yeah, whew, that feels kind of big. And yeah, I was a bit of a busy bee. Granted, some of this, isn't as filled in as when I was at the timber company, but yeah, I was definitely busy all week. I got a lot done. I wrapped up some things. Gosh, where do I even start? Okay, so first things first, a lot of this week was wrapping up some things that were already in progress. I've been working on the coloring book for months now. That's done. It is uploaded to Amazon. I am waiting for my proof copy to arrive, which should be Monday, and then I will start promoting the heck out of it. That sounds a lot better than begging people to buy it, doesn't it? No, but seriously. No, so yeah, so today, part of today's project is kind of planning appropriate promotion and, doing some research into that. But yeah, it's done. I got the email last night while at dinner that, it was ready to go. So yeah, so this proof copy comes in, and I'm happy with it that nothing got fluffed up when it went from my computer to their printers. Yeah, we'll be good to go there. I also wrapped up a cocktail commission. I think I'm still waiting for any kind of feedback from the client on that one. Always kind of a tense time, but that is something that it was not a rapid turnaround. It was one that was, she was just really on the ball for an event that's coming up this fall. Ooh, that rhymed. And so we had time to kind of play around with it a little bit. But it's the first cocktail commission I've done in ages. And so it was nice to have a little bit extra time to kind of get back in that groove. I do kind of miss doing them, so I might be promoting that again, kind of putting that out there as another service that I can provide. Let's see, what else? I was doing a lot of research, of course. I tentatively have my days set up where Monday, Wednesday, Friday are very production focused, whereas Tuesday and Thursday allow for administrative work, research, things like that. So yeah, that was definitely a thing. On Tuesday, I did work on some research into book marketing and book promotion. The thing about having, I've done this once before, but the cookbook was a different type. I mean, I knew I was going to be marketing to a very niche group, and so going to the shows, going to the comics conventions and the gaming conventions, that was the one that made the most sense. And so, doing some podcast things like that, absolutely. That was all part of the plan, and it honestly didn't take that much planning to do. I just had to do it. This is a little different. The Sammy coloring book probably is going to appeal to or at least I hope, is going to appeal to a broader market. And my novels that are kind of not next on the list, but they're coming up soon on the to-do list. They're going to have their own market, their own niche. And yeah, so I just kind of need to get up on, refresh my memory and find out what's going on in the self-published author book marketing trends these days, because I've been out of that game, you know what I mean. I've been out of that sphere for quite some time, since I last thought about that. So that's been something. And then also Thursday I ran a lot of errands. I was out of the house most of the day. And let me tell you how needed that was. I knew one of the things that I would possibly potentially struggle with was the isolation of working from home as a freelancer. Now I have some people that I like follow on Twitch that do like art streams or other like, low-key streams that I can use to body double, which is a technique that I was using before I knew it was a thing. But body doubling, especially for like, people with ADHD or other neurodivergencies, it's a way to kind of have another person as a buffer between other distractions. And it's a very low risk responsibility for the other person who's acting as the body double, because you're not really beholden to them. They have no responsibility other than just to be there. And in fact, I know that there are at least one of the discords that I'm on has body doubling channels, and I may make use of those over time. We'll see. But sometimes it's just really tough to kind of zero in and do your own work without getting distracted. And so even that little bit of semi-accountability, that tiny bit of accountability that somebody else is there can, anyway. So that was a thing. But no, I knew that isolation was probably going to be an issue. And yeah, after 3 days of being home, I mean, of course, Todd's home in the evenings and we have supper together and we talk and, still, I was feeling a little bit stir crazy just being in the house for 3 days, and 5 days if you count the weekend before, where I didn't go do anything. I didn't leave the house. So yes, I've definitely confirmed after just this week that I need some sort of face-to-face interaction at some point per week. So I had the thought, once I left my last job, that maybe I would have time and opportunity to rejoin the book clubs that are, that have been meeting face to face again, since some of the COVID restrictions have let up and people are starting to get vaccinated. Even though they were meeting again, I had no time to read a book, much less make it to a meeting. Now I do. It's kind of it feels a little novel, if you'll pardon the pun. But yeah, I've already made it to, I've just about finished one of the books for an upcoming book club meeting, and I'm about, okay. I'm about a third of the way through. I'm physical book, Dead Tree Edition. The local author, so I picked it up at our local bookstore, and I actually picked it up on Thursday when I was running errands, and it came in really handy because that was mostly a screen-free day. Yeah, I mean, I checked my phone for a couple of things here and there, but when I was running errands, some of the things I had to do were, very boring grown-up things like get the tires rotated or get an oil change and stuff. So while I was waiting for my tires to be rotated, I started reading the book. And I was amazed that I was able to concentrate on a physical book, because a year ago, that was not the case. While we were still straightening out, or understanding some of the stuff going on in my head, and getting the med combination right, and me learning to adapt to this new information and to me, and learn how to work with my brain instead of against it. Sitting down and reading a book was really difficult for quite some time, with all of that plus, work stress. So to be able to sit down and actually read a physical book, that's a definite sign of progress. Just like being able to read an ebook, 6 months ago, probably was a sign that things were starting to get better, that I was actually able to concentrate on anything So that was a cool thing. And then when I stopped to get lunch, and I read more of the book. And yeah, so finishing up one book, and then there's two book clubs that I was actively participating in a while back, that I'm hoping to be able to rejoin. And then there's a third one. Well, there's a third one that I don't know that I don't think that was the knitting book club. I don't think that one's going to be restarted anytime soon, and it was a quarterly one anyway. But although I would love it if they restarted that one, because I did love going to that one. But there was another book club that I'd heard about, but was never able to participate in because it took place on Tuesday afternoons. And even though in theory I could have taken like a late lunch on that day and gone to it, in reality there was no time. But the cool thing about that one, it's called Books to Art. It's held at the local library, and everybody reads the book, and then they create some sort of art about it. And I'm like, oh my God, that is right up my alley. So yeah. I think this month's meeting is like Tuesday, so it's like I don't have time to read the book and create something, but I will definitely be checking in right after that meeting to find out what the next book is so that I can plan to participate in August. It should be right before I go out of town. Okay, that's another thing I did this week is I booked a trip to Arizona for 2 weeks. And I don't remember if I mentioned that on the last one that I was able to do that, but yes. So from mid-August onward, I'll be out there for a couple weeks. It'll kind of be like a little writer's retreat for me. The friend I'm staying with is, he works from home. And so while he works, I will work. Probably by then I'll probably be editing, if not drafting, the next novel in the series that I have started and have mapped out. So yep, that's going to be a good productive time, I hope. And I'll also, I'll have my tablet with me, not my full computer setup, of course, but I'll have my tablet with me enough that I could do some sketching and stuff like that. So I'll have a couple of things that I can work on while I'm out there, and with even fewer distractions from home, is the plan. So we'll see how that goes. I'm looking over at my planner to kind of see what else I might have missed this week. Oh, I also had to do one of those also Tuesday, Thursday things was website work. I have not touched any of my websites in at least 2 years. Yeah. The last blog post I made on Scraps of Life, in fact, was from 2019. I know that for a fact. It's to the point where, I'm having to like dig up my passwords, and even like where do I go to get into the back end? I had to reset a couple of things because I just hadn't worked on them. But I am putting the majority of the work I am doing now, I am putting under the umbrella of the Crafty Branch LLC. Reason being is that I've kept that LLC going this long. That was what I wanted to name my craft store when I was trying to open one here in town. Probably a good thing that didn't work. I mean, I feel no ire or rancor or anything like that about that not working out. I know I did my best. It was just the situation was not ideal, so it didn't happen. That's okay. All's well. But I kept it going because I was going to try and do like kits and stuff, and I kind of put the cart before the horse on that one. So yeah, I kind of have to see what all is still viable from all that stuff. But yeah, so right now I'm just putting everything under that heading, which meant I needed to redo that website because it was based on the kits, and I had the devil of a time trying to figure out why, after I'd installed the thing that was going to be the back end of the website, why it wasn't showing up. I'm so rusty when it comes to website work, but I figured it out. The neurons started firing again and the frustration ebbed and I got it done. So theCraftyBranch.com is, you know, back up and functioning and has a new look to it and will continue to evolve as more projects come out. Let's see. What else? Oh, so with the coloring book, the first coloring book essentially finished, just waiting on that proof copy to come in, and with the cocktail commission sent, just waiting for payment so I can send the final files. Yeah, I got started on the next project on the list, which was to finish the, you know, minor revisions to What to Feature Rating Party so that I can put that up on Amazon next, and it will be available through that network, both as a print book and an ebook. You know, back when, 9 years ago when that book originally came out, people didn't use their phones or much less tablets in the kitchen. Cookbooks did not do well as ebooks, that they hadn't made that jump yet. And so while I thought it would be cool, because I remember back in the, oh boy, back in the 90s when Brother came out with this kitchen like terminal where you could store recipes and stuff, and I just thought it was the neatest thing ever. Of course, you know, I didn't have one because money and so many different things, but yeah, I remember seeing that in the magazines and being like, oh, that's so cool. But now people use their phones and tablets in the kitchen all of the time, and so it's a lot more common to see cookbooks as ebooks. And so I'm like, all right, we're gonna make the jump. Of course, because of the way that book is constructed with the comics and the illustrations and the charts and the everything and the tables, it's gonna be, it's not going to be as interactive, maybe. I mean, it's going to be uploaded. It's basically going to be, you know, like a PDF. I mean, it's not a PDF, but it's going to, you know, it's going to be the static pages. It's not going to reflow. It's not going to, you know, be yeah, it's going to be, you know, a straightforward one-to-one translation. I thought about, you know, redoing it, completely reformatting it for ebook, but to do so would be to sacrifice one or more elements of the book. And so I'm like, you know what, we are not going to reinvent the wheel on this one. And I don't know if there will be subsequent cookbooks on that vein. I'm like, I don't know. I can't tell if that time has passed again, because so much is available, you know. I think the market has changed so much. I don't know. And I don't know if I am up to doing that kind of work again. I don't know. That's something that's kind of still, the wheels are still turning in the back of my head. And yeah, I don't have an answer for that one yet. But I definitely wanted to make the book available in a way that did not require me finding a new printer and fulfilling orders, because again, if I'm going to be traveling, I do plan on going to Arizona every few months, you know. I want that to be part of my routine for various reasons. But yeah, I want to make sure that that things are as, I guess, automated and you know, just doing it as smartly as I can. And for me right now, not having to fulfill all of those orders. Now, when that does come out on Amazon, I do have a limited quantity of the original style of books, the original, you know, the first editions, if you will, available. And so I will make those available. I will ship those out myself. They will be available, you know, like signed or, you know, artist edition even. And so I'll be pushing those a little bit, But other than that, yeah, I want to do as much fulfillment by proxy, or if that's the right way to say it, leave that to somebody else so that I can concentrate on creating what's next. Yeah, so there's that. God, what else? What else? What else? What else? What else? So, at the beginning, I said today was Saturday. I have my plan for right now. Plans can change, but my plan right now is to switch back to doing these videos on Saturday. They may still post on, I don't know. I'm still figuring stuff out, but I want to leave Sundays for now, at least, as like a self-care day, a day where, you know, I'm not going, not working as much, not pushing myself. I think, well, no, I know that just because I'm self-employed now, it doesn't mean that I'm working any less. What I'm doing is working just as much, if not more, but I'm doing it on my terms, on my projects, and that's the important distinction. But I do know that, you know, whereas I might leave the day job behind at, you know, 6 o'clock or whatever, as much as possible, leave it behind. I had a nightmare about the trucking stuff this morning. So I wonder how long it'll take before that stops. Dreaming about my old job. But, yeah, so it's a thing. But I also know that, you know, after dinner and stuff, rather than relaxing, what I do is I tend to come back and I futz with whatever I'm working on, or I might work on a different project. Oh, wait, I have one other thing to show you. Oh. I had to go grab it. I actually, earlier this week, I kind of, you know, I needed to step away from the computer for a little bit, and I really wanted to make something by hand. And so I started crocheting a snood for my hair. The idea being that, you know, it'll be a good way for to keep my hair up, while it's drying, while it's air drying, and allowing the curls to do their thing, with a little more airflow. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, but yeah, I mean, it's a small thing. It's a simple pattern, but it felt good to do something by hand. And speaking of the hand, yeah, I still have some tightness, some soreness in that muscle or ligament or tendon, whatever it is, on the side of my hand. But it's a lot more manageable. And I picked, you know, a very simple pattern for the crochet project because I wanted to be gentle on myself. I don't know that I'm up to doing tight knitting projects right now, but I'm going to work my way back up, and so that I can do some more fiber projects. In fact, I did stop and adopt some fibers that were marked down at Fuzzy Goat's sale on Thursday when I was running errands. So yeah, I have even more yarn now. But that's okay. It's all right. It will all get used for something along the way. And yeah, but it felt good to just make something. I have not forgotten the stuffed animal project. That's still on the list. I'm not, you know, I do plan to do some physical art pieces that I have had in mind for a while and just haven't had time or opportunity to execute. I'm also thinking, I don't know, I have to see how my setup will work, how the internet will handle the load or internet connection here, about doing maybe some Twitch streams of art, whether it's digital art or physical art. I don't know. And of course I still have to finish the work of organizing this chaos. which is an ongoing project, but it is something that is even more important now that I'm working from home. I want my space to be as functional as possible. So yeah, I also, oh, there was one other, I kind of identified a new market that I want to look into. It's actually something I've been interested in before, but didn't really have a good direction to go in, which is greeting cards. Obviously, some art that I have could be translated to prints or whatever, but I think I've kind of identified a market that is underserved that I could actually do some good in. And so I'm still noodling that around. So anyway, but yeah, it's been a busy week wrapping some stuff up, still wrapping, still working on some existing projects. Not a lot new on the horizon yet, but I'm very excited for when that time comes. I'm glad I had some stuff kind of in the pipeline that I could wrap up. I feel like it gave me some early wins to be able to wrap up 2 projects this first week, and I hope that that kind of momentum can keep carrying me forward as I wrap up the Raiding Party edits for the 2nd edition. I need to redesign the cover, stuff like that, but yeah, I'm really looking forward to wrapping up some of this existing stuff and being able to start on the new stuff and just kind of keep the wheels turning and get those things out there. It's feeling pretty good. So anyway, thank you so much for stopping by and spending a little bit of time with me as I update you with what's going on. I hope your week has been good. I hope your week has had some high spots for you. More high spots than low spots whenever possible, but if you're in a low spot, then my heart goes out to you. I hope everyone is healthy. We still have a lot of stuff going on, with COVID and the Delta variants and the world trying to move on, but we just have to be smart about it. It's really what it is. We have to be smart about moving forward and think about the bigger picture. And I know for some people the bigger picture is a different picture than for others, but I just hope that we all can do our best to make this world, to improve upon what we've got, because that's the best thing we can do as human beings, for whether it's for our lives, for our community, for our countries, what have you, is to take the steps that we can to improve things. Kind of that whole, you can curse the darkness or turn on a light, something like that. So, and just because you're one person and it feels like what you're doing is small, I know that I'm not out to change the world. I'm just trying to improve my life and the lives of those around me, the lives of those that intersect with mine. And that's okay. And maybe by doing that, other people will do the same. And if we all try and do the best we can for those right around us, for those that intersect with us, then, I don't know, maybe things will get better instead of worse. Here's hoping. Anyway, so yes, thank you for checking in with me. Thank you for hanging out. I wish you the best this upcoming week. Do something good for yourself. Take some time for yourself. Create something, whether it's a meal or a piece of art, a drawing, a doodle, a sketch, a poem. Creativity is subjective. Maybe you create happy thoughts. Maybe you create laughter. It doesn't have to be a capital A art or some lofty pursuit. Just do something. All right. I will see you next week. Love you. Goodbye.